April 2024, 8:34 p.m. Maria Santos was translating her 1,847th word of the day. It was a technical manual, Japanese to English, 12,000 words total, and is expected to be due tomorrow. She had been working since 6 that morning, 14 straight hours. Her eyes burned. Her wrists ached, and just minutes earlier, an email had landed in her inbox, an inquiry for a 40,000-word project with a $4,000 budget, a dream rate. She wanted to say yes, but she couldn't. At her current pace, it would take 3 weeks, and she was already fully booked. 6 months from now, she'd be translating 20,000 words a day instead of $2,000, and she'd be earning $15,000 a month instead of $3. And clients would tell her, genuinely, that her translations had somehow become even more detailed. But right now, at 8:34 p.m., Maria was staring at her screen, wondering how many more years her body could survive this pace before it finally gives out. She'd been a professional translator for 7 years, excellent reputation, flawless grammar, trusted with complex technical and business documents, but she was capped at 2,000 words a day because real translation was slow, meticulous work, and she refused to compromise on cultural meaning or context. But 3 weeks later, everything would change. Part 1. The Breaking Point. March 2024. Maria was a freelance translator specializing in Japanese to English technical and business documents. She charged 12 cents per word, which was industry standard for her language pair and specialization. On paper, her math looked solid. 2,000 words a day, 20 working days a month, about 40,000 words total. At 12 cents per word, that came out to $4,800. In reality, slow months, project gaps, and revisions pulled that number closer to $3,000 a month. And those 2,000 words weren't just typing. For every 1,000 words, she spent roughly 2 hours on the initial translation, 45 minutes researching cultural context, another hour refining meaning and detail, and 30 minutes on quality checks. That was over 4 hours per 1,000 words. 2,000 words meant 8 to 9 hours of focused work, before emails, invoices, client communication, and marketing pushed her days closer to 10 or 11 hours. This was the ceiling. Professional translators could realistically manage 2,000 to 3,000 words a day without sacrificing quality. To double income, Maria would need to double output, which meant 18-hour days. It wasn't sustainable. On April 16th at 8:34 p.m. she was still working. Word 1,847 of 12,000. She stared at a single sentence on her screen. The Japanese phrasing was precise and efficient. Her first English draft worked technically, but it felt off. Too stiff, too flat. She deleted it, rewrote it, refined it again. The original Japanese. システムの最適化により、処理速度が向上し、エネルギー効率も改善されました。Maria typed it slowly. First attempt. Through system optimization, processing speed improved, and energy efficiency also improved. She deleted, improved them at the end, rewrote. Through system optimization, processing speed increased while energy efficiency improved. Better, but still not capturing the nuance of the Japanese structure. Another 5 minutes of refinement. System optimization enhanced both processing speed and energy efficiency. 15 minutes passed for a single 15-word sentence. That wasn't inefficiency, that was quality. It was also why, 14 hours in, she wasn't even halfway done. Then her phone beeped. A new email. A potential client needed a 40,000-word training manual translated in 2 weeks with a $4,000 budget. Perfect project. Perfect rate. Maria did the math immediately. 40,000 words at 2,000 words a day meant 20 working days. 3 weeks minimum if she maintained her standards. The client needed it in 2. Impossible. She typed the email she had typed many times before. Polite, professional, apologetic, explaining that she couldn't meet the deadline without compromising quality. She hit send and stared back at her screen. Word 1,847, 10,000 words still to go. She kept translating until nearly midnight. Part 2. The Forbidden Idea. The next morning, April 17th, Maria woke up thinking about that project, about the money she'd turned down, about the fact that she'd worked until midnight and still wasn't finished. There had to be a better way. She searched online for how professional translators worked faster. The advice was familiar. Use translation memory tools, develop specialized vocabulary, improve typing speed. She was already doing all of it. Then she saw a forum comment that made her stomach turn. Just use machine translation for the first pass and clean it up after. I'm doing 8,000 words a day now. 8,000. Machine translation was everything she stood against. It was why clients thought translation should be cheap, why junior translators undercut rates, why meaning was disappearing from the profession. Using AI felt like becoming part of the problem. She closed her laptop. The next afternoon, she was back at her desk working on another technical document, 3,000 words, due in 2 days. 3 hours in, she was only at word 789. Her back hurt, her wrists hurt, her eyes hurt, her whole body just hurt. That forum post was still in her mind. What if she just tried it once? She opened DeepL and copied a paragraph. 2 seconds later, the translation appeared. It was grammatically correct, but lifeless, corporate, cold. She compared it to her own version, shorter, smoother, more human. This, she thought, was exactly why AI couldn't replace translators. It had no soul. She closed the tab and kept translating manually. That night, at 9:15 p.m., she was still working, still exhausted. She reopened the forum thread and read it all the way through this time. One comment stopped her. "I don't use machine translation. I use it as scaffolding. The machine handles mechanical substitution. I rebuild everything: tone, context, cultural meaning. My output went from 2,000 to 7,000 words a day. Quality didn't drop, it improved." Another line followed. "You're not a human dictionary. You're a cultural interpreter. Let AI be the dictionary. You be the interpreter." Maria leaned back in her chair. Let AI be the dictionary. I be the interpreter. She sat with that idea longer than she expected. What if this wasn't cheating? What if it was simply a better way to work? For the first time in months, exhaustion wasn't the loudest thing in her head. Curiosity was. Part 3. The Terrifying Test. April 20th, 2024, 8:47 a.m. Maria stared at her desk, already feeling uneasy. She had a 5,000-word business document due in 3 days. Under her old system, that meant 2 to 3 full days of work. Pushing hard at 2,000 words a day, she hesitated. What if I try the AI-assisted workflow, she thought, just for this one project, just once. She set it up carefully, almost nervously. First, she fed the entire document into DeepL. Then she reviewed the machine output. And finally, she committed to rewriting everything, completely, using her own judgment, tone control, and cultural understanding. She clicked Translate. 45 seconds later, all 5,000 words appeared. She scrolled and immediately winced. The translation was technically accurate, but culturally blind. Every sentence hit the surface meaning and missed the soul. "We are very sorry for the inconvenience," the machine wrote. Maria shook her head. This was a product recall. In Japanese business culture, apologies weren't casual. They carried humility, responsibility, and gravity. Her version read, "We sincerely apologize and take full responsibility for this serious inconvenience." Another line followed. "Please wait for further notice. Too cold, too distant." She rewrote it. "We appreciate your patience as we work diligently to resolve this matter." Then another. "The problem has been fixed. No, not enough. We have addressed the issue and implemented measures to prevent recurrence." Sentence after sentence, she rebuilt the document, not translating, but reconstructing meaning. And that's when something unexpected hit her. She wasn't starting from nothing. The structure was already there. The mechanical word substitution was done. She wasn't burning energy typing every sentence from scratch. She could focus entirely on tone, nuance, and cultural intent. The machine handled the mechanics. She handled the meaning. By 4:15 p.m., she was finished. 5,000 words, fully refined. Total time, 7.5 hours. Normally, this would have taken 16 to 20. She read through the document once, then again, then a third time. It was good. Actually, really good. Every meaning held. Every register choice felt right and every sentence sounded human, and yet she felt uneasy, like she had crossed a line. Did I just compromise my integrity to save time? She sat there for 20 minutes, wrestling with that question. Then she sent the file and waited. April 21st, 2024, 10:23 a.m. Her email notification beeped. Maria opened it slowly, bracing herself. The client wrote, "Maria, this is excellent work. The tone is perfect. Exactly the level of formality and humility we needed for this recall situation. You've captured the nuance beautifully. Thank you." She read the email once, then again, then 3 more times. They couldn't tell, because the quality had not changed. It was still her work, just faster. Over the next week, Maria tested the workflow again and again and again. 4 more projects, different formats, different tones, a technical manual, marketing materials, business correspondence, and a training document. By the end of the week, She'd completed 15,500 words, more than 50% above her usual output. Every client response was also the same. Excellent quality, no issues, no complaints. That was when it finally clicked. AI wasn't replacing her skill. It was replacing the part of the job that had nothing to do with her expertise. The typing, the mechanical substitution, the brute force labor. Her real value had always been cultural interpretation, tone calibration, register selection, idiomatic judgment. The machine couldn't do that. It could only build the scaffold. Part 4. The 6-month transformation. By May, Maria scaled cautiously, almost paranoid. She increased her daily output slowly, 4,000 words a day, then 5,500, then 7,000. Every project made her nervous. What if a client noticed? What if quality slipped and she missed it? What if she destroyed the reputation she had spent 7 years building, but nothing collapsed? At the end of the month, she reviewed her client feedback. Her average rating was 9.4 out of 10, the same as before. One client even wrote, "Your turnaround time has improved without any decline in quality. You're now our preferred translator." By June, she did something she never thought she would do. She emailed the 40,000-word project client she had turned away months earlier. She told them she could now deliver 40,000 words in 2 weeks, without sacrificing quality. "Hi, I've optimized my workflow. If you still need that training manual translated, I can now deliver 40,000 words in 2 weeks while maintaining quality," she wrote in the email. They replied the same day. "Perfect timing. We still need it. When can you start?" Maria completed the project in 12 days, refining 10,000 words a day in focused, structured blocks. And when the client responded, they didn't question the speed. They asked for 3 more manuals. "This is excellent. We'd like to work with you on 3 more manuals this quarter," the client responded. Maria's June-July revenue, $11,000 versus her normal $6,000 for 2 months. Incredible. By August, something unexpected started happening. Clients were not just satisfied, they were very impressed. "Your translations feel even more nuanced lately," they said. Her daily output rose to 20,000 words, refined, high quality, and this takes only 8 hours of actual translation work. Her monthly output became 400,000 words, 20 working days x 20,000, and at 0.12 words, Maria had the potential to make 48,000 a month. Although, accounting for project gaps, she averaged $15,000 per month. So, working same hours as before, making 5x revenue. Maria didn't understand it at first. She was doing 5 times the volume. How was the quality improving? Then she realized the difference. Before AI, 70% of her energy went into mechanical typing. By hour 6, fatigue crept in, and so did small judgment errors. Now, almost all her energy went into cultural interpretation. She was fresh for every decision, calm, precise. Less typing fatigue meant better judgment. Her brain was finally doing the work only a human brain could do. By September, Maria added ChatGPT to her workflow for complex contexts. When encountering culturally ambiguous phrases, ChatGPT would provide cultural context analysis, while Maria would make the final call. This added 15 minutes per complex document, but increased cultural accuracy significantly. By October, the numbers settled. 20,000 words a day, 8-hour workdays, $15,000 a month on average, same hours, but 5 times the income. Part 5. The Tools and Simple Math. Maria's entire AI toolkit cost less than $50 a month. That was it. But when people asked her what changed, she never led with money. "The income is amazing," she'd say. But that's not the real win. "The real change is that I stopped destroying my body typing all day. I stopped wasting energy on mechanical work. I finally spend my time doing what actually requires human expertise." She paused, then added, "AI handles the mechanics. I handle the meaning." Part 6. What this means for you. If you're a translator stuck at 2,000 words a day, watching AI creep closer and wondering whether your profession is disappearing, this is what Maria wants you to understand. She thought AI was coming for her job, but it wasn't. What AI replaced wasn't translation, it replaced typing. The mechanical, exhausting word-for-word substitution that had nothing to do with why clients trusted her in the first place. Machines could move words between languages. They couldn't carry meaning across cultures. That distinction mattered. The first machine translation Maria saw was awful, flat, tone-deaf, and that terrified her until she realized something important. It wasn't meant to be finished work. It was scaffolding, a rough structure that freed her to focus on reconstruction, on humility, formality, cultural weight, and intent. That's where quality actually lived. For years, Maria believed suffering was part of excellence. That slower meant better. That exhaustion was the price of nuance. But what she discovered was the opposite. When her energy stopped going into endless typing, it went into judgment. And judgment, clear, rested, intentional judgment, is what produces quality. She also stopped thinking of herself as a walking dictionary. That had never been her value. Her value was interpretation, bridging cultures, knowing when a sentence needed restraint instead of warmth, when formality mattered more than friendliness. AI could handle vocabulary, she handled meaning. That was the work that mattered. AI doesn't ask you to lower your standards. It asks you to stop wasting your intelligence on tasks that don't deserve it. If you're a translator, a writer, a language professional, your value has never been speed or vocabulary. It's judgment, taste, context. Knowing when a sentence needs restraint instead of flair. Knowing when meaning matters more than literal accuracy. AI can draft, it can scaffold, it can move fast, but it doesn't know when something feels wrong. That's still you. The professionals who thrive won't be the ones who resist AI out of fear, or the ones who hand everything over and disappear. They'll be the ones who draw a clear line between mechanical work and human judgment, and then guard that line fiercely. Use AI where it saves your body. Use your mind where it matters. If this story made you rethink how you work, how you value your skill, or how you want your career to feel 5 years from now, take a second to like the video. It helps more people see stories like this. And if you want to keep following how real professionals are integrating AI without losing their craft, their identity, or their standards, subscribe. We're just getting started.